shooting outside a Queens nightclub, leaving 10 people injured.
All of them are expected to recover as police are on the hunt for several gunmen who were involved. Briella Tomasetti outside the party hall in Jamaica with the very latest. Young people, a lot of young people there, right?
Teenagers, Rosanna and Dan, all the victims between 16 and 20 years old, 90 people inside, an additional 15 or so waiting out here to get in. So this was a packed venue for sure. First responders characterizing the shooting as a mass casualty event. Thankfully, though, this morning, all of those victims in stable condition, recovering at local hospitals. Police have been canvassing those local hospitals for any additional walk-ins. Now, investigators say they received multiple 911 calls for victims shot here outside the Amaura event hall at about 11:18 last night. Police rushing to the crime scene located at 91st Avenue and 144th Place, where they say about 90 people, again, were inside at a private event happening upstairs. According to the NYPD, the venue was at capacity and a queue of about 15 people had formed outside. That's when police allege 4 suspects began firing into the waiting crowd. Here's NYPD Chief of Patrol Philip Rivera with more details.
4 males were walking eastbound on 91st Avenue onto 144th Place towards the venue. 3 to 4 males then opened fire over 30 times in the direction of the group standing outside the event space, striking multiple victims.
10 victims were shot in total, 6 women and 4 men. Like I said earlier, between 16 and 20 years old, just teenagers. They're being treated at local hospitals for non-life-threatening injuries. The 4 suspects, in the meantime, ran off westbound on 91st Avenue toward 143rd Place, where they got into a light-colored sedan with out-of-state plates. Overnight, police cordoned off the area with evidence markers and crime scene tape. Amaura has the capacity for 4,000 people, a large venue. It regularly hosts DJs and live performances. Last April, though, 2 men were shot and wounded at the same exact place. Neighbors are calling for an end to the rampant gun violence.
New York is getting out of control, and these kids and these young people need to stop. This killing is unnecessary. The shooting, all this violence, it doesn't make any sense.
Given the recent events happening in Las Vegas and New Orleans, investigators here in New York have confirmed that this was not an act of terrorism. They're also looking into whether it may or may not be gang-related. But if you have any additional information, the NYPD is urging you to call the Crime Stoppers hotline at 1-800-577-TIPS.
On my legs, and it was huge.
For Antonisha Cheristel, it's a painful memory and start to the year. The Howard University freshman describes the moment she realized she was shot in both her legs New Year's Day.
As I was starting to run, getting my momentum, it was like a pain I don't even know how to really explain. It was burning, it was cold, it was stabbing, and it felt like it was like pulsating.
Cheristel was one of several people caught in the crossfire waiting to get inside the Amaura nightclub New Year's Day. The first of the year turned chaotic.
I'm over here thinking that it's fireworks, but it wasn't until I got hit and I saw people running. I was like, oh, this is real.
This video overhead caught the frantic moments as many ran for cover.
I ran and I got behind the first car, and there was a girl laying there, and she was like, oh my God, they got you too, we got shot.
She called me on FaceTime, and she's like, don't be mad at me. You know, she's like, don't be mad at me. I'm at a party, a really bad thing happened at the party, and I got shot. And she's telling me that there's no one really there helping, and that they didn't let them in the club. You know, I got concerned. I said, you know what, get off the phone with me, share your location, but call 911.
It was the call her mother was least expecting. A lengthy recovery process now underway. Her daughter unable to walk, rods left in her legs, but for her, she still finds hope.
It could have been really worse. So I'm really grateful. This could have went the other way.
By mom's side, the fierce gun violence prevention advocate, Councilmember Farrah Lewis, a relative to the family who says the city's decades-long bleeding issue must come to an end.
We have to get the guns off the street, whether if it's legislation, whether if it's fiduciary responsibilities. We need to take a more proactive action. That's federal, state, and city. That's the only way to get the guns off the street. But the longer we take, the more lives we will lose.
For this 18-year-old, she looks forward to just getting back to school.
I'll use this to help me. This will not stop me. So I'm feeling empowered. I'm feeling ready to go.
And all 10 victims are expected to be okay as an active search is underway to find the gunman still at large. Anyone with information is urged to call police.
10 people were shot outside a New York City nightclub on New Year's Day. Here's what we know so far. 10 people were shot outside a private event at the Amaura nightclub in Queens, New York City on New Year's Day, according to the NYPD. The incident occurred at approximately 11:15 p.m. outside the nightclub located in Jamica, Queens. Police said 3 to 4 men approached the venue on foot, where a group of 15 people, ages 16 to 20, were waiting to enter. Around 30 gunshots were fired before the suspects fled the scene on foot and then got into a light-colored sedan with out-of-state plates. The victims, 6 women and 4 men, were transported to local hospitals including Long Island Jewish Medical Center and Cohen Children's Medical Center. Police said none of the injuries are life-threatening and all victims are expected to survive. Amaura nightclub has a capacity of 4,000 people. As of now, no suspects have been identified and the motive for the shooting remains unclear.
Somebody pulled up to the Amaura nightclub in Queens, New York and tried to catch 11 bodies, y'all. They tried to take 11 souls. Witnesses say he was in a gray Infiniti lurking outside the nightclub as everybody was exiting. No motive, no dispute, no altercation. We don't know why this happened. 2025 is starting off as a bad year already. I don't know what's going through y'all head. I don't know what kind of animosity y'all got in y'all hearts from last year. American people has had enough of something. What? I don't know. Those 11 people that were injured were taken to the hospital. They are not in critical condition, thank God. They're going to be okay. They suffer minor injuries, but it's still atrocious and monstrous to pull up opening fire on large crowds of people. For what, y'all?
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Why is this happening in America? Please help me understand. What's wrong with my people? We got from the East Coast, the West Coast, the South. We done had 3 different incidents. All of them terroristic in nature. I'm scared to go outside at this point, man. I'm gonna have to bring Blicky everywhere I go. That's what y'all telling me, huh?
90 people were inside and an upstairs private event space. The venue was at capacity and a line of about 15 people were waiting outside. Police say that's when 4 men walking down 91st Avenue approached the crowd and fired about 30 rounds. They then ran towards 143rd place where they got into a light-colored sedan with out-of-state plates.
Officers responding to the multiple 911 calls found a total of 10 victims, 6 females, 4 males, which were taken to area hospitals. All of the victims are expected to recover with non-life-threatening injuries.
So we have more news coming out of yesterday. Out of everything that happened, there was also, of course, a mass shooting. This all went down around 11:20 p.m. at the Amaura nightclub in Jamaica, Queens, New York. Basically what happened is 4 people came, opened fire into a crowd of mostly teenagers, injuring 10 people. Now, fortunately, all 10 of those people seem to be in okay shape. None of them have critical injuries, so they're all expected to survive. Now, the age range of the people that were hit were between 16 and 20. What we know about Amaura nightclub is that apparently it's a fairly large venue, holds about 4,000 people, is known for hosting a bunch of DJs, and last night they were hosting a private event. We also know that the suspects who committed this shooting are still at large, and authorities are looking for a white-colored or light-colored sedan. Y'all, I just gotta say, 2025 came in with like a vengeance. I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything that happened yesterday. I have never made that many videos in a single day. Now, all of that said, make sure to hit that follow button so you don't miss any of these critical updates. Do me a solid, drop your thoughts about everything in the comments so this helps get it out to the FYP, and make sure to spread the word around.
A possible terrorist attack has just taken place in New York City, Queens to be exact. What we can confirm is that the Amaura club had a mass unaliving. While we don't know how many fatalities there are, There was at least 11 people hit by bullets, though. As you can see, this is an extremely active scene up on 91st Avenue in Queens, New York. Again, MCI 59 was transmitted from Queens. This means that they are sending as many resources as possible. Now, some sources did tell me here, as this is an active scene, that on the second floor of the club, that there were 6 people who were hit by the bullets. We do know that 3 people showed up at Jamica Hospital and a few others showed up at nearby hospitals as well. Again, this is happening all on the 1st of the new year.
We have some major breaking news that is terrible. Once again, the country is waking up to yet another mass shooting this morning, this time in Queens, New York. Just a few hours ago, 4 masked gunmen walked up to a nightclub in Queens, New York, opening fire, shooting over 20 separate times. And as a result, 10 people have been injured. Now, thankfully, all 10 are expected to recover and they're expected to be okay. Authorities do not believe that this mass shooting has any connection or any nexus to the attack in New Orleans or the attack in Las Vegas that we saw yesterday. The mass shooting occurred at the Amaura nightclub. 6 women and 4 men were among the victims. According to reports, 4 gunmen in the mid to late teens and early 20s literally walked up to the nightclub and just started spraying and opened fire, shooting as many people as they could in as short of amount of time as possible. I'm hoping that the victims recover fast, and I will continue to provide you updates as soon as we get more information, so be sure to follow along for more.
There was another mass pew-pewing in New York this morning. Today is January 2nd, 2025. 10 persons were injured. Hopefully, as of now, no serious injuries, but 4 masked men walked into Amaura nightclub in Queens, New York, and started shooting. 10 persons were injured. I believe it's 6 women and 4 men that was injured. No fatality. This is in New York. 2025 now started, y'all. It now started. What is going to become of this place? People, be safe out there. Be safe.
I think the overall theme for 2025 this year is to stay the fuck inside, because apparently we can't go out no more and have a peace of mind. If you have that feeling, that sense, that urge, or something tingling telling you to stay your ass inside, stay your ass inside. Because reportedly right now, as I'm speaking, it's been reported that there has been a mass shooting in NYC. 11 people are injured right now, today. This ain't even, it hasn't even been 24 hours since the incident that has happened in New Orleans. Less than 24 hours, another incident involving people being out in the public has happened. Except they wasn't ran over. They were shot. I don't like the fact that we're starting off a new year. Technically, this is really not a new year. The new year is in a couple of months now, but we're going to go with this is the new year. I don't like the fact that we're kicking off this new year surrounded by death. And I feel like it is just more to come throughout this year. I feel like there will be more incidents that will happen. And I hope and pray that I am nowhere near anything that will occur in that type of form. It's crazy. Prayers out to the family of the people who lost their lives in New Orleans. And prayers to the family people that are injured in this mass shooting in NYC. Despicable. how people would just want to carry out violence acts towards strangers. Crazy.
Tragic news coming out of Jamaica, Queens this morning, where 10 people were shot. 10 people were shot. 6 females.
Hello, you guys. I just want to say that 2005 is starting out crazy with people just dying in mass for no reason. And now in New York, the day before the postal worker died, okay, there was a mass shooting at a nightclub killing babies, killing teenagers. This is crazy, you guys. I don't know what 2025 is going to bring, but let's just see what it's going to bring for us, because it's just getting ridiculous at this point.